So I just wanted to show you what I'm obsessing over at the moment, because I get these ideas and then I have to chase them. And it doesn't matter if things exist already or not. I always feel like we can do something better. We can take it deeper. We can go further, and I can learn a lot from doing it. So right now I'm actually going to show you, because I'm on this, this rhythm of doing videos. I wanted to stay on that and just, give you more behind the scenes of what's going on, because I think a lot of people got a lot of value from that. And in the last video, I'd actually gone through, how I build these web sort of interfaces using Nuxt, which is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm using Nuxt to just test stuff. And you can see here in my console, I've got an ABI here. Now you might be thinking, what's an ABI, right? So if you go to Etherscan, punch in any contracts here, I've got a MesoGo OMG network. If you go to the contract section, right? So you click on the contract. Let's do any old one. Let's do I don't know, something like Chainlink. So Chainlink, and it seems to be quite slow, my internet at the moment. So let's just wait for that to load. Click on contract. And then when you go to contract here, remember this is where you can get the ABI. So here's the actual contract, right? Here's the source code text for that contract. But down here, here's the ABI. And the ABI is very useful, because once you have the ABI, you can use Web3 or Ethers.js, but in this case, Web3. And you can use it to simply query the contract. And then, you can even execute commands on that contract, whether you're reading the contract or whether you're writing to it. So it's kind of useful. Now, normally what you do is you'd copy the API, or you'd copy a section of it if you're using Ethers.js. And here we're using Web3. So, I'm copying the whole API, but ABI, I should say. But here's the thing. What if, and I'm going to take you through my idea now with the app. What if you don't know the ABI? What if you need to get the ABI without knowing the ABI? And there is a way to do it. And it turns out, so what I'm finding, and here's my sort of brainstorming around, I'm using Millernote for brainstorming. By the way, I've been using Millernote for the last, I don't know, like 1 week. And all my notes are going on Millernote, and it's brilliant. And I can do brainstorming. So if you do any kind of content creation whatsoever, definitely use Millernote. It's amazing. So, what I'm trying to do here is use this Etherscan API to get the ABI. If that wasn't confusing enough for you, I don't know what is. But, they actually give it to you. So you have an API key, etc., and you can get your API key and you can query it. You don't have to use the code they're using. I'm using Axios to do the query. And I'm actually going to show you the code now. You can actually get that ABI. And I'm learning a lot, like blockchain. Learning to use Web3 and read the blockchain, etc., is teaching me a lot about actual blockchain contracts and how they work. And learning about scams, etc., is teaching me a lot about, contracts just in general. And so what I'm trying to do here is to develop this. So, for example, here I've got the API, right? This is my Infura provider API, so that I can access Web3. So if you don't have one, go to Infura and get one. No problem. There's many videos that'll show you how to do that too. If you want me to do one, I'll do one for you. The contract details here, this is where I'm just doing an Axios request, right? So get this Etherscan API, right? Go and get that using that link as the URL. Then the JSON ABI. So this is kind of interesting. I'm using this JSON parse to actually put this in a JSON format. But before I do that, let me just remove that parsing for a second and show you what this returns, right? So I'm connecting to Web3, and then I am, I'm giving it a provider and all of that stuff. And then I'm using the Etherscan API to retrieve the contract address. Now, interestingly, I don't know if BSScan do the same thing. And actually, I'm going to check if they do, because they've pretty much mimicked Etherscan. I'm going to check BSC scan, because if they do the same thing, then you can run the same kind of checks. Now, the kind of checks that I'm going to want to run, on this, and again, I'm just showing you like everything, how I think about this stuff, right? And by the way, if you think of things here, think of things that I should look at based on what's available in the contracts, right? Or based on how you can actually get stuff from the Telegram, right? This needs to be fully automated. No human needed. Okay, so you need to think like that. Things like, liquidity not being time locked. Things like how much of the holdings are with the team, right? If it's less than, if it's more than 50%, that could be a bad thing. Having a migration function. If it has a migration function, that's a big problem. It's a big problem. Don't buy it. That's BSC scan. So, I'm doing a lot of research. I'm watching a lot of videos as well, just with people going, hey, this is how I got rug pulled. And the reality is I don't trade like Uniswap and SushiSwap and, Pancakeswap. I don't do any of that. Like, I have a full-time job. I'm really busy with that. And, with the family, like I know a lot of you are. I don't have the time for that. I just want something that's going to tell me, bang, this token is good to go. It's worth trading, etc. And then what I want to do is I want to build a bot that allows you to just snipe into that. So buy early. So if it checks out based on the checks that, are here automatically here, and you can, always do your own checks as well, etc. But I want something for me where I can just paste in a contract address and go, cool, is this good? And then if I can do that, I can actually write something that just listens to the blockchain, goes, yep, that one looks okay, send one tiny amount of whatever. Can I send it and receive it back? Cool. Can I do it with a bit more? Cool. Now go in. And to do that all really quickly, so it's literally like one of the first buyers in. And kind of what I was thinking to do, because, then you've got a lot of bots, right? So the problem is when you're doing things like Uniswap and all of that, and you're trying to get in early, and I've literally experimented with this and lost, I think it was something like $1,000 that I lost just experimenting on this. But if you get in early, here's the problem now. Now you've got everyone competing. So gas fees are like crazy. And then because people are FOMOing in, they're paying like, and I've done it by the way, they're paying like huge amounts of gas fees. And so then what you've got is you've got all the, the kind of front runner type people that are coming in who are literally, they're exploiting the fact that you're paying these exorbitant gas fees. And, and so you're not able to get in this trade, and it's just, it's a nightmare. So, I've got all of that to kind of figure out. And this is something I'm working on, right? It's so you can see it's not an easy problem to solve, but no problem worth solving is usually easy, right? This is teaching me all sorts of stuff. The only difference this time around is I want to take you on this journey with me, right? I want you to see what's going on here. So here I'm basically building this app. Now, how does this look? So right now, you just paste in whatever contract address. Again, I'm using a Miso Go. Let me just refresh this page. If I click on test, it pulls the ABI. Here's that ABI. Rock and roll, right? All I need now is the smart contract. I don't need the ABI. I can just get the ABI having the contract address. And I can get a contract address just by listening to the blockchain, right? So this is great. There's so much automation. The idea here, though, is a user might be interested in a contract, right? And they're seeing everything on Twitter and they're following and whatever, and they don't care. They know it's a shitcoin, but they want to buy in and they want to sell at a 10% profit. That's it. That's their strategy, right? Pretend. They already know the contract. So what I want is the ability to paste in a contract and then, get all of the stuff and just have it just look at everything, like done. And then, to have something that allows them to like snipe in or not. Now, the only thing is, a lot of my tools are experimental. In fact, all of them are experimental. So, I need to be careful here. People are playing with their money. So this is another thing, right? I want to be very careful and clear about the journey here and the pitfalls as well. It's another reason I'm doing this video. So here, I'm going to put JSON now. So you saw I had that JSON.parse. And if I put in JSON.parse here, now I can actually get this in a JSON format that can be iterable. So JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. So when you're working with JavaScript, it's really handy to have things in JSON. So let's run it now. And now you can see things have come through in objects and it's much more readable. So now I can actually access the names of these, right? So using the same techniques I showed in the last video, I can actually go and access, whatever object.name. And for example, one of the things you can see I'm building here is I expect it to have name, symbol, decimals, everything that makes up an ERC20 standard for functions and events. And then I'm also going to have a section which tells it, what inputs I expect that function to have or event to have. So what that's going to enable you to do, I'm geeking out here, I know, but what it's going to enable you to do is it's going to say, okay, not only does it, yes, have a transfer event, but it's got the right inputs into that function that I would expect to see per the ERC20 standard. So just in case, somebody is trying to do a rug pull by calling a function a certain name, but it's not what they called it, right? They're putting in different things or different outputs or whatever. So this is how I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking like, what are all the ways you could scam a smart contract? And that's actually teaching me a lot about scamming, but it's also teaching me about smart contracts. Now imagine if we have more tools that are stronger like this, right? A lot of people are going to go, well, Etherscan is a centralized, I get it. But guys, this is better than any other regulation we've got, right? This is literally like the code is here, fight code with code. So, with all the scammers and all of that stuff going on, fight code with code. And I want to, actually want to see what the sniping is about, right? How is the front running done actually if you were to program it from scratch? Like, I'm just interested. It's going to teach me a lot, right? How can you do the front running? Front running, by the way, if you're trading based on information that's visible to everyone, I don't see anything wrong with it. It might not be moral, right? And I'm not saying it's okay to be immoral, but my point is the market needs to level up. Blockchain is a coder's game. There's a reason why manual arbitrage is painful. People are making money doing arbitrage. They're doing this stuff automatically. Blockchain it's computing, it's coding. So we need to level up, right? And we need to develop the tools that give us this kind of self-regulation as well. So, to me, there's kind of this noble feel about the task as well. Can we build something really cool? Can we allow people to do the front run, but make it available to anyone, right? Guys, anyone can do it. And that way, people develop better smart contracts and better blockchains, so it becomes self-regulatory. That's something that for me feels very healthy. So that's what I'm building over here. Now, the next steps for me are to just mess around with this and say, okay, can I go into these things and see, okay, what are the inputs, right? Here's the inputs. The input is an array of 0 for this one, right? So that one's not a good example. Let's try this one for approve. Approve is a very important one. It's got 2 inputs, underscore spender, underscore value, right? The type is address. The type is uint256. So I can program in, which are correct, by the way. These are based on the ERC20 standards. So, for me, I can program this all in. And so that if there is a spammy coin, already, like within a week in Crypto Wizards, I could have a tool where someone clicks, they put in the coin just to check, is it, does Sean's tool see anything spammy? And it'd go, yeah, don't trade this coin. It's not even got a verified smart contract, number one. Number two, if it does, it's missing some things, right? It's missing some things, or it's got some things in it. If any of you following the channel are like a blockchain auditor, right? So the kind of stuff that you look for in a smart contract, right? Anything with logic can be automated. And I know this sounds a bit crazy, and I know it's really complex, and I know you need a human to do it. But I'm interested to hear from you. I'm interested to know, like what are the kind of things, so maybe put it in the comments, what are the kind of things smart contracts have, or that people program in? How do they program them in that enable rug pulls? Bring it to light, and then let's build the tools to catch it. So anyway, this is what I'm working on, just letting you see my crazy mind and how it works on, how it thinks and how it works on new ideas. And there's always new ideas. Tomorrow I'll be thinking of something else at the same time, I promise you. And I know a lot of you can relate. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, take care. See you in the next one.